In this video, I'm going to show you how I quickly and easily create agentic applications. Hi, I'm Ed Zinda, and this is What the Funk. As a software engineer and AI consultant, I'm often working on various different client and side projects that vary in complexity. But after working on enough projects, you'll find that most projects require the same kinds of boilerplate and scaffolding. So rather than build everything from scratch like your authentication or your event bus system, it's often a good idea to maintain some kind of repo that you can just clone and start building off of instead of building from scratch. This way, you can start focusing on the brand new features that actually matter to your client or yourself, instead of burning tires doing the same old things that you've already implemented once, twice, 10 times in the past. So in this video, I'm going to show you the boilerplate that I use to quickly create custom agentic applications for clients or just for side projects for myself. But before we get into that, if you're new around here, on What the Funk, we talk about all things development, AI, crypto, basically anything technical, nerdy, or interesting. If that's something that you're into, consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the bell notification icon so you can stay up to date whenever I post a new video. With that out of the way, let's get into it. So right now I'm in my workspace directory, and I'm just going to go ahead and clone the boilerplate I have into a new directory, and we're going to call this video agent. Well, I screwed that up. I should type git clone. So that's cloned. So next I'll cd into that directory and then open my coding agent of choice, which is Kit. But first, let's go ahead and have a look at this boilerplate. So it's a Go application that's built on top of PocketBase. It also uses the Kit SDK. I've spoken about this in a previous video, and it also has some built-in skills that help my agent understand the code base so it doesn't slip up. Let's have a look. I've got a README as well with a quick start. So it basically tells anyone who's new to the repo how to get started, to clone it, how to rename the top level module of the Go module to something else just in case, and then basically set all the environment variables and everything to get set up. So this is basically everything you need to know about the application. But because we're going to be doing agentic coding, we don't really need to dive into this too much. We can actually just go back to our coding agent, and I'm just going to say read the README and then run the quick start. I know I need an LLM configured for this, so I'm just going to say use open code Kimi 2.6 as my model. There's a typo. Use OpenCode Kimi 2.6 as my model. And yeah, let's see what happens there. And it's just going to go through the README, find the quick start, and then hopefully run everything that needs to be run. All right, it looks like it ran everything and it went ahead and started a server. So I'm just going to copy this, and then I'm going to go into my browser. So it went ahead and created a test user for me, which is part of the quick start steps. And I've already got that set. So let's try logging in. All right, I'm logged in, and you can see this is the basic shell of my agentic application. The main interface of it is a chat UI similar to something like Anthropic's Claude or ChatGPT. Let's just double check that this works. All right, everything works as expected. So now what I want to do is this application out of the box comes with basic chat. It also has the ability to generate images. So I can say create an image of a frog, make it low res. And so it's going to generate an image of a frog. It looks like it made a mistake. And depending on the model, sometimes it does that. But the great thing about agentic applications is if you create them right, the model can understand what it did wrong and correct itself. So it went ahead and generated an image. So I've got this low res frog, but that's cool. What I want to add in this application is the ability to generate videos. And so there are a bunch of different APIs out there and a bunch of really interesting video generation models. We're going to be using ByteDance 2.0 from ByteDance. And that, in my opinion, is the best video generation model on the market at the moment. So let's go back to the coding agent in our terminal. I'm going to start a new session, and then I'm going to open editor mode and paste in prompt that I've already set up. I want to add video generation using ByteDance 2.0 on Replicate. Replicate is basically a provider that provides an API to access all kinds of different video, image, and even LLM models. I'd like to use Replicate because it's pretty convenient and the API is very easy to use. We should be able to submit uploaded files and workspace files as references for start and end frames, etc. Make sure to create custom tool renderers that look nice and then use the image gen tools as examples. The great thing about AI models is that if you give them examples of other bits of code in your repo, it knows how to identify best practices and patterns. So I've already got a working set of tools for generating images. So I want to tell the model that, hey, use these tools as a reference to guide you along creating these brand new image generation tools. And then I'm going to say the tools are gated by whether the replicate API key is set. So if someone using this application hasn't set their replicate API key, don't enable these tools and don't feed it to the agent. So the agent doesn't try to use tools that aren't actually available yet. And then one thing I like to tell the agent when I'm coding is I say, understand how to do this, and then report back with your findings and recommendations. So with that done, let's go ahead and submit it to the agent and then let that ruminate for a little bit. In the meantime, we can have a look at the API schema for the replicate video generation. So the cool thing about replicate is if you go and explore the different models, like here I've got ByteDance 2.0, they give you this little tab that shows you the API, all the different options available, and then you can actually use the JSON or grab the JSON representation for the input and the output. And that's basically what I did for the agent. I just gave it the URL and it's going to go ahead and scrape this. Another thing I want to mention is that I like to use this plugin called Playwright, and it's similar to Microsoft's Playwright, which people use to write end-to-end tests for their web applications. But this is just a Chrome extension that is combined with an MCP server that allows you to give access to your agent to test things after they've built it. So if you're using some kind of TUI agent like I am, there's really no way to give the agent feedback of what they actually built, like what it actually looks like, how it operates. You can like copy and paste screenshots, but this is a more automated way of doing it. So I've got this installed. Then I've got Kit configured to use the MCP server that talks to this Chrome extension. So open up the editor, then find, and then, so this is my Kit configuration, and I've added an MCP server, the Playwright MCP server. It's a local MCP server, and this is just the command to run it. So this is the plan that my agent came up with. Let's just quickly skim over it. So it found the 3-file pattern that I use for my image generation. It also saw that the image gen is gated by an OpenAI API key because I use the OpenAI image 2 model. I already have a replicate API key set on my system, so it was able to basically grab the API and the options and everything it needs. It figured out how our system works, and I'm just going to let it go ahead and do its thing. So let's say, let's do it. Make sure to test in the browser by first creating a low-res image and then use that image as a reference. All right, that looks good to me. And we'll let the agent get started. Now here you can see the agent has already started crawling the repo, looking for patterns, and it started creating some files. So it created a replicate client that it can use inside of the tool itself. And now it's creating a bunch of markdown HTML using some icons, etc. And it's just going to keep crawling through and generating files just like any coding agent does. And you can see that it even created a bunch of unit tests. Now it's going to start the server and try testing in the browser. It looks like I set up the MCP while the agent was running. I should quit and then restart real quick. Let me resume and then see if it can continue. I just added the MCP and now you can see it's driving my Chrome browser and it's doing a bunch of tests. So it's going to try and ask the agent to generate a video. First, it's going to generate a picture of an orange kitten apparently, and then going to try and generate a video from that. The image finished generating and now it's asking the agent to generate a video. Let's actually see if it works. So you can see there was an issue and it looks like we don't allow saving videos by default. So the agent is going to go ahead and figure out how to fix that. And so you can see here, it knows that it needs to create a new database migration to allow for a video and audio. So it's going to create that and then build everything and then test everything in the browser to make sure everything works. All right, it restarted the server and now it's going to try again. So hopefully it actually makes it all the way through this time. The one thing about these video models is that they take a long time to generate, which is kind of annoying, but the output is unreal and it's crazy that we're able to do these kinds of things now. Oh, look, there it's generated. There's a weird artifact in the agent response, but we can fix that later. Let's go ahead and check out the video and make sure it actually plays. Yep. It plays, the cat moves, etc. Very nice. And I believe just like generated images, it should open up in or save in this generated images folder in the workspace that's already included with this boilerplate. And so you can open it up here and play the video there. Now that's really cool. And hopefully you can see that by having an existing code base, you can build some really cool things very quickly. The coding agent itself has the ability to crawl through your code base, find the different patterns that are already being used, reuse those patterns for some brand new functionality, and rather just building things from scratch, it can go ahead and put everything together very quickly. So if you want to build agentic applications, it's a very good idea to have some kind of boilerplate yourself. One of the best ways to do this is just start building different side projects and then saving those side projects. And then whenever you build a new side project, just maybe copying and pasting from the old project until you've built up something substantial that you can reuse consistently. Now, if you don't want to go through all of the work of putting together a boilerplate with user authentication and event system. So for example, my boilerplate has a user workspace so they can store different files. So in this case, we've got the generated images files. We've got video files. If I go back to the agent, I can just say, create a cool cyberpunk website, and it can do this. No, I don't want it to generate an image. I'll stop that. No images. So it's just going to generate an HTML website and it's going to create it as an artifact and save it in my workspace. We'll let that run. We can just open it up real quick. And yeah, it's got a whatever cyberpunk website, but it's just got this artifacts feature just like Anthropic's Claude chat UI. So you've got that. You can edit the source code if you want, and you can download it, etc. We've also got agent jobs, and this allows you to basically ask the agents, like say, hey, every day at 8 a.m., check Hacker News for the top stories and then just send me an email about it. And you've got like notifications. You can see all the different job runs. We've got rules like cursor rules. So you can tell your agent, wow, what to do, what not to do. You can also create different skills, custom prompts, etc. It's got a lot of different features. And this is something that I've built for myself. And it allows me to just quickly create cool prepackaged stuff for clients. And all I need to do is add whatever modifications for the client or for whatever workflow that they're asking for. And it's already built on top of something that works. Now, if you don't want to go through all the work of building something like this yourself, I am making this boilerplate available. I'm calling it shipagent. So if you go to shipagent.dev, it tells you a little bit more about it, what the stack is, all the different features, and then you can just go ahead and purchase it there. And once you purchase it, it gives you access to the private GitHub repo, and you just can go ahead and clone this repo just like I did at the beginning of this video, and you can just point your coding agent at it and get started building interesting new features. Of course, this is something totally optional. You don't have to buy my boilerplate, but I put a lot of work into this. And so I think there's a lot of value in it. And if this is something that you think could be valuable for you and the work that you do, please consider checking this out. I'm also providing 25% off for the first 50 people that use the code that I'm going to leave in the description below. So if you're looking to get a discount or a deal, this is your chance to go and get that. Otherwise, go ahead and maybe draw some inspiration from this video and go ahead and start building a boilerplate of your own to start building from. And that's it. That's how I quickly and easily create custom agentic applications using my own personal boilerplate. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.